everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. This week I am finishing my purple chemise a la reine project right here, and we're really close to finishing this already. So if you have not seen the rest of this project, it is in two previous videos, the playlist of which is linked right up here and also down below in the description, but that's where I made basically the whole rest of the dress and also showed you how to make a super easy 18th century petticoat. So all that we have left on this now is to do the hem of the purple dress part here, to do the last few closures on the waist, and then also obviously we don't have any sleeves here. So we really need to add some sleeves. And I have almost no fabric left for this project, so I am honestly not even sure like what kind of a sleeve I can get away with, because this is it. That's all the fabric that I have left. Yeah, it's not going to be enough almost certainly for a long sleeve, which my original plan was to do a long fitted sleeve, but I don't think we're going to make it with this. However, I want to try. And also, I feel like even if I did a shorter, maybe like a puffed sleeve or something like that, like a double puff sleeve, even if I did that, I want to have like a fitted lining inside. So basically that means that the first step to this is I am going to put together a mock-up that is a long fitted sleeve, and we are going to fit that mock-up, and it's going to go all the way to my wrist, even though the final sleeve probably can't go all the way to my wrist. And once I have fit that mock-up, then I'm going to lay those pieces of the mock-up out on my remaining fabric here and see how much of the sleeve I can actually get. Now, if at that point I kind of realize I'm not getting very much sleeve, at that point I'm going to decide, okay, do I want a fitted 3/4 sleeve, or do I want a like puffed, double puffed 3/4 sleeve? Do I have enough fabric for a double puffed 3/4 sleeve? I don't know, there's very little left here. But the double puffed 3/4 sleeve was a very popular sleeve for chemise a la reines. The long fitted sleeve was a very popular sleeve for chemise a la reines. You do see 3/4 fitted sleeves too, like that is still a thing. It seems like it's maybe not quite as popular, but it definitely still existed. So one of those three sleeve possibilities is what I'm going to have here. And I'm going to start with a mock-up. So let's go cut out a mock-up. Well, I have the sleeve mock-up on, but I set it into the armscye wrong. So this is actually based off of the sleeve that's in the Amalia bodice pattern, and there is a notch in that sleeve that I had transferred to like my version of the Amalia pattern from when I did that bodice like a couple years ago. And I thought that the notch meant the underarm. Clearly it does not, because by doing that, this is supposed to be where my elbow is. My elbow's over here, so I need to rotate this whole sleeve like about 2 inches backwards. I think there is also too much bulk somewhere. Like, this is a lot of wrinkling, and I don't want that wrinkling. The lower part of the sleeve looks really nice. I really like that. That looks great. I don't know what's going on here, because I don't think that wrinkling is from it being set wrong. I think it's like too long in the upper arm, actually. I think that's what's going on. So I think I need to, whoa, okay. Yeah, if I shorten this by like 2.5 to 3 inches, suddenly all of that wrinkling goes away. So I think I am going to cut down the upper portion of the sleeve, which is good because honestly I had too much to pleat into this armscye for what there should have been, like based on what the pattern pleats showed. So that will make the head of the sleeve smaller by cutting it down shorter, and that will hopefully go in better and remove all of those wrinkles. So I'm going to make some tweaks and reset the sleeve into the armscye, and maybe at that point we will have a good sleeve mock-up. All right, I took the top part out pretty significantly and kind of redistributed the pleats. I do feel like the pleats might be a little bit too close together, and I also do wonder if there's a little too much fabric right in the back, kind of underneath the armpit area here. I know that with 18th century sleeves, sometimes they did have extra fabric in places, like for example, there's a little bit of extra fabric in the elbow, and that is for movement, because see, I can move my elbow, it's no problem. Also with this part back here, I think it's because that means that I can go like this and that fabric goes away. So I think it's actually probably fine as is. Like, I think I've got it, and this sleeve mock-up is perfect. And the real question is, can I actually fit this on the purple fabric because I have a feeling I can't. And I have a feeling this sleeve is going to have to get shorter, which is really unfortunate because I really like this length of sleeve. And yes, I know piecing is a thing, but I feel like if I were to piece the sleeve, like a big old seam right around here or something, that would be kind of really obvious and kind of ugly. And I know I'm saying that with that little piece pieced in there, and that does blend in pretty darn well. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I will piece it. Maybe that's what I'll wind up doing because I certainly do have like enough fabric. It's just I don't think I have enough length of this fabric left to get these sleeves out of, because that's 4 pieces. It's 2 of the upper piece and 2 of the under piece. And that's a lot. And this isn't a lot of fabric. And I guess the other question is, what would happen if I actually turned it cross grain? Because if I turned it cross grain, then I could probably fit it. And I don't feel like there's a ton of difference. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe I need to just puzzle this around and maybe turn the sleeve pieces cross grain and see if I can get them on that way. Or at least, here's an idea. If I turn this outer piece, if I turn this cross grain, I can cut the full length, no problem. And then wherever like the underside is, because that doesn't really show as much, right? You know, you're walking around, that's underneath your arm. Maybe I can piece that side of the sleeve. That's probably what I'm going to do. And that will allow me to have a long fitted sleeve, which is really exciting. So yeah, I'm going to go puzzle out all of that cutting now. And I'm also going to cut it out of the cotton sateen, which is the same stuff that I made the petticoat out of and the same stuff that is the lining on this bodice. If you saw the other videos, you will know that. And I'm going to figure out how to cut this out. Wish me luck. Also, while I have this on, I am looking at the hem. So really, I just need to even it out because there's like a piece you see right there where it is way, way longer than where it meets up with this piece. So I have to even it out and then turn a narrow hem. But otherwise, the length looks really, really great. And also the fullness here actually looks good. Like, I think the fullness works. The petticoat is super, super helping. But yeah, I was worried it was going to look really just meh. And I think it looks really good. And also this belt, which is really just a big piece of ribbon with this lovely vintage buckle. I think this looks really, really pretty. So this is the first undersleeve that I'm cutting out right here, like the underside of the sleeve. And I've got the cotton sateen on the reverse side here. And I laid it out. I laid both this and an upper sleeve out and kind of looked at how much fabric I have left. So I'm not going across like the middle line there, and realized I could get it with just a little bit of piecing. So that's what's going on right here. I have pieced in this little bit on the like underside of the sleeve that will hopefully blend in decently. I'm going to take little whip stitches to this like I did with the bodice piecing, and yeah, hopefully it won't be that obvious. Then I'm going to serge around the outsides of here, and then I can actually assemble the sleeve with the other pieces. And this is what the 2 little pieced sections look like here. I think they blend in pretty darn well. They are different. This one is obviously just a little bit larger, but you can see my tiny whip stitches along the edge there on both of these. And yeah, I think that they work really well. And I feel like once you get a little bit away from them, you really barely see that they're there at all. Plus they're in the inner arm. So like, you know, pretty hidden. The sleeves are all set in now. You can see the little pleats that are on the back. Keep in mind that this seam, this isn't right at the shoulder. This is a little bit further down the shoulder. So that corresponds kind of to how low those pleats are. That should give pretty nice movement there, and they look pretty even though I just eyeballed them. And now that the sleeves are set, it is time to do the hem of the sleeve. So I am just going to put some bias tape right sides together on here and fold that inside, just single fold bias tape, because there really wasn't much extra length to these sleeves. So yeah, I'll do the first part by machine and then turn it inside, press, and stitch that down by hand. Speaking of hand sewing, I have also hand sewn the whole hem at this point. So I just did a whip stitch all along the hem. You can see that must be one of my start points right there because you can see the little knot. But yeah, that is my hem. So the only thing left to do is finishing off the sleeves, because I also finished off the closures here at the waist. So I now have all of the closures done, and yeah, just need the sleeve hem and then it is all set. So let's talk final thoughts on the Chemise à la Reine project. Overall, I am honestly so pleased with how this turned out. First off, it's so comfy. Like, I think that I just got the fit and kind of all of that sort of stuff just perfect, which is amazing given how little fabric that I had for this. So yeah, it is extremely, extremely comfy. And I actually don't even mind that it is technically a poly cotton too. I'm very pleased with this thrift flip, and I'm looking forward to being able to wear it for more stuff as well. Now, I am supposed to be wearing it for our annual spooky shoot to go to the Tacoma Cemetery, and that is what you are supposed to have seen in all of the finished footage in this video. That said, our shoot is scheduled for this coming Sunday. It will have already happened, or at least it was supposed to have happened by the time you're seeing this video, but it's very much looking like it's going to get rained out, and I wanted you to still see the finished look. So that's why I went and shot all of this at one of my favorite parks, and I think that it kind of gave the good spooky vibes as well, just not as much as the cemetery. But I am looking forward to wearing this again, hopefully for the spooky shoot, even if it's something that we have to postpone to, you know, next weekend or even the beginning of November, because I do really enjoy that event. I'm hoping that I can maybe fix this wig a little bit by then. You can probably tell that it is quite coming up in the center. This is my Joe March wig, like from when I was in Little Women 3+ years ago, and it is also my Rose wig, and it was my Mother in Ragtime wig, and I've just worn this wig like a ton, and multiple times, because I've worn it for theater multiple times, it's been stretched over a microphone. So it's just a little too big, and it doesn't like to stay glued with like the Got To Be glued hairspray. It doesn't really like to stay down like that. So that's why my wig looks a little funky. I do, however, like how I kind of styled it here. This is literally a scrap of China silk that I just kind of wrapped and literally straight pinned into kind of that turban look that you see so often in this era. Actually, there's two scraps because this is a separate scrap down here. And this is a third scrap that I made into a little fichu. All of my typical 18th century stuff, it's all white, and I just felt like that was not gonna go with the spooky vibes for this. So yeah, little scraps of China silk, save your scraps because you never know what you could do. I didn't even hem this or anything. Like, there are raw edges aplenty, but you know what? It tucks in and no one sees it except now, you know, because I told you all my secrets. But not bad for like a good, you know, 20 minutes or so of styling the wig slash styling myself. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to wearing this again. One thing that I probably should have done today and probably will do for the spooky shoot is to wear this actually over a quilted petticoat in addition to the black petticoat. So it would be bum pad, quilted petticoat, black petticoat, and then the dress. And that's just because it's cooler outside right now. And although chemise a la reines were probably typically not worn over a quilted petticoat because they were summer outfits, right now I can get away with it. And it means that my skirts have that better shape that you really see in like the 1780s. I really love a quilted petticoat for that because it just gives you that shape like instantly. Put a bum pad and a quilted petticoat on, you are golden. But yeah, overall, I am so pleased with how this turned out. And I really like the look of the fitted back. So like having the fitted bodice everywhere with like the faux gathers and then being able to get my long sleeves in. I honestly had forgotten that I even pieced this because it's been about like a week plus since I pieced it to when I'm now wearing it today. But yeah, I totally forgot that I had pieced my sleeves, but I think they blend in like really pretty darn well, so very pleased with that as well. Anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed this project. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube at least once a week, usually with sewing vlogs like this out on Tuesdays and sometimes with additional costuming or sewing related content out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below, or you can send me a super thanks or join my YouTube channel memberships right here on YouTube below the video. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Edwardian level patrons, Jean and Kim. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!